Hello, this is Tim, Samwise7, and I continue with the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition Monster Manual. The next creature is the Roper, which has 10 to 12 hit dice. It looks like a stalagmite. It has a pouch in its gizzard, which it holds money and gems, so don't forget about that. It has 6 sticky rope-like excretions that cause weakness. They drag victims to their mouth, and they are yellow-gray in color. Next is the Rot Grub, 1 hit point. It is found in dung. If touched, it digs in your flesh and it kills you in 1 to 3 turns. Now, turns are longer than rounds. And they wiggle their way into your heart and then they kill you, which is not fun. Next is the Rust Monster, 5 hit dice. And I think we're all kind of familiar with these guys. They basically destroy your armor, your weapons, anything that's metal. And these are very fun for GMs, especially for players that get a bit out of control with how many magic items they have. So watch out for these guys. Next is the Sahagin, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's 2+2 hit dice. They're basically sea devils that are humanoids. They have a very, very long description. I think that's just to kind of help GMs sort of put these in the campaign. I don't know, they're just not very interesting to me. I mean, how many people can you really have in the ocean? I guess if you maybe go to a watery plane of existence, or you have like an underground or underwater campaign, it might be interesting, but I don't know. They just seem like more people who live in the ocean. Salamanders have 7+7 hit dice. They live on the plane of fire. They have a humanoid upper body and a snake tail, like lower body. And cold hurts them a lot because, you know, they like fire. Satyr, these are the fun-loving guys at the party. 5 hit dice, you know, frolicking, piping, seducing young people into the woods, you know, things like that. You know, these are like kind of like the creepy guys that you know, have candy in their pockets, like things like that. Scorpion, the giant scorpions. You know. Sea hag, another sea creature. 3 hit dice. Dismal. They have ugly lairs. Just by seeing it, you lose strength. So that was kind of an interesting ability. And they have a death gaze, you know, because that's always good. There's a giant seahorse, again, for, I guess, campaigns if you're in the ocean or something. Sea lions. They're literally like lion torsos and claws with a tail. Shadow, 3+3 hit dice. They drain strength. And if all your strength is taken away, you become a shadow under the control. They're 90% undetectable, so they really come out of nowhere. And unless you have a bright light, it's really hard to see them. Next is the Shambling Mound, 8 to 11 hit dice. They just live in like very swampy, marshy areas. They have like roots and tendrils. I don't know. They basically strangle you with their long arms. Their brain is in their chest. Fire has no effect. Lightning grows it. It's basically just like a heap of rotting vegetation. Sharks. The Shadu, which is 9+9 hit dice. These guys are lawful good. They have hooves, psionics. They can go ethereal at will, telepathy. They have a human face on a winged horse-like body. I believe these are based on Sumerian mythology, but I could be wrong. Next is Shrieker. It's 3 hit dice. It's basically just a moving, loud-ass fungus. That's basically what it is. Everyone has dealt with skeletons. The giant skunk, because the small ones apparently don't smell bad enough. The Slithering Tracker has 5 hit dice. It's transparent. It's very hard to spot. Attacks sleeping prey. So this thing waits around and stalks you and then kills you in your sleep. Their touch paralyzes you, and then they drain and kill you in 6 turns. So if no one's paying attention or they fall asleep on their watch, this thing could invariably kill you while you're in your sleep. I think as a player that would probably kind of piss me off, but you know, the world's a dangerous place. There's giant slugs, you know, for people that have giant gardens. Giant snake. Giant snakes are kind of interesting, especially with like anyone that's familiar with like the sword and sorcery, like Conan kind of thing. He's always fighting giant snakes. Spectre, 7+3 hit dice. Daylight makes them powerless. They have level drain, all kinds of immunities. Raise dead spell kills them. There's a lot of the old school monsters seem to have specific spells that really, really hurt certain creatures. Um, and that's kind of interesting. Depending on how you do it with your characters, with your players, like the out of character knowledge versus in character knowledge, I guess you could just have them make like some sort of like intelligence roll or roll under intelligence to see if they know the weaknesses. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear how you guys deal with all these monster stats and what kills them and what doesn't, and the out of character in character knowledge. Um, yeah, and if you're killed by a specter, you basically become one. I think it's under their control. The Sphinx, 8 to 9 hit dice. There's 4 types. There's Andro, Cryo, Gyno, and Hierarcho. Hierarcho? I don't know. Basically, it's like a human head, a ram head, a female head, torso, because we like female torsos, and a hawk head. And there's information in there. I don't know. They're not real interesting, at least in my opinion, so I kind of skipped them. Spiders, some nice artwork in there. The Sprite, they're 1-hit dice. They hate evilness and ugliness. They have poison and sleep arrows. A lot of these little things seem to have like little arrows that they just zip you with. And some of the sleep arrows have long durations. I was kind of impressed by that. It's very hard to notice them. They're usually invisible, and they can detect good and evil very, very easily. Giant squid, a stag, which is basically just a big deer. The sturge, everyone's favorite giant mosquito, is 1+1 hit dice. Long, sharp proboscis to drink blood. You must kill it to detach it. You can't just yank it out of your arm. And of course, they're flying. The strangleweed, which is 2 to 4 hit dice. It's basically seaweed that kills you. There's a lot of creatures in here about in the ocean. I guess more modern monster manuals seem to have gotten away from that. The Sioux monster, SU, has 5+5 hit dice. They're basically psionic monkeys. I mean, that's really all you need to say about them. They are psionic monkeys. The Sylph, 3 hit dice, beautiful aerial creatures. They're kind of like nymphs. They can aid good characters, and they have magic. There's also several creatures in here that deal with psionics. The Thought Eater has 3 hit dice. It's big-headed. I don't know. It has a platypus head. It's kind of funky looking. I don't know. It kind of looks disturbing. They have psionics. Magic energy is what they eat. And the picture looks like he's high as a kite. I don't know. It's kind of silly. There's a giant tick, a tiger, and then the big old titan. The titan has 17 to 22 hit dice. This thing, you don't mess around with this thing unless you're high level. Has invisibility, levitate, ethereal spells and cleric spells, psionic abilities, and they get along with storm giants because the big bullies like to hang out together. To sum these guys up, is they're big dudes. Okay, titans are big dudes. That's basically what they are. Next is the Titanother. I think it's how you pronounce that. They're basically just big, like prehistoric rhinos. They have 12 hit dice. There's a giant toad, a trapper, which is 12 hit dice. These mimic floors. It's kind of funny in the old school monster manuals. There's so many creatures that mimic things that are in a dungeon. Like some things mimic the floor, other things mimic the ceiling. Stalactites, stalagmites, all those things. But these mimic floors. I think these creatures just basically emphasize that adventurers should be paranoid. The floor cannot be a floor, the ceiling cannot be a ceiling. They fall on top of you and kill you, strangle you, crush you to death, all the above. So watch out for those. The Treant, because everybody likes Treebeard, 17 to 12 hit dice. Just a big burly guy with a beard who happens to be a tree, and usually don't like dwarves cutting stuff down. You get the gist of it. But all right, see you in the next video.